everybody. Welcome back. My name is Dean. Is this thing on? Hey, is this thing on? Are we going?
Hello?
Welcome to the program. Hello, everybody. We are back. It is Monday. We've got lots to get to. It's the 4th of July. Not going well in the United States today. We've got some sad stuff to talk about where that's concerned. We've got some convoy stuff to get to today. Pierre Poilievere is a lumbersexual, so we'll get to that coming up in a few minutes as well, because that was totally weird. And we're joined today by a list of professionals in their industry. Please welcome Sheep King JB, my friend JB, at Sheep King JB on Twitter and every single social handle. If he's on TikTok, you can find him on Instagram, pretty much everywhere, including OnlyFans, at Sheep King JB. We'll get to that in a little bit too. Ryan Lindley from the Sheeple Shepherd podcast. A lot of sheep stuff here, a lot of animal references for the first two guys. Yeah, Ryan Lindley, at Ryan Lindley is where you can see him on Twitter. His podcast is called the Sheeple Shepherd podcast. You can get it downloaded anywhere you find your podcasts, including Google, Apple, Spotify, etc. And still in Ottawa to recap what is our first subject of the day. Please welcome back journalist / lawyer Kareem Assad, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody's here. Nice to see you. She's poolside. Bit of a life hack there, huh?
Of course she is.
Yeah.
I don't know how she did it. I'm stuck here in my room. She
Yeah.
gets poolside. How's that fair?
Yeah. Well, we're all going crazy because COVID's still back on the lam, apparently. Just read that this morning. We got some big numbers from the hospital. We're all still wrapped up in our place. You've been just dallying around Ottawa, just bumping in and out of groups, watching people choke each other, doing, getting free weed from freedom fighters, watching people get arrested all weekend. And now look at you. You got your robe on, you got your bathing suit, and your poolside. Isn't that
I'm
nice?
trying to live my best life here.
Yeah.
As long as it lasts, you know?
What are you doing there? Are you just kind of hanging out? You're just like, screw it. I'm going to be here for
I'm waiting in town, actually, for Tamara Lich's bail hearing tomorrow. So it's scheduled to be a full day hearing. She's alleged to have breached one of her conditions. And we'll see if she ends up being detained or released with a new set of conditions, or if it's found that, she could be out regardless. So that'll be interesting, I think. And that's happening at the Ottawa courthouse.
Is that how you say her last name? Is it Lich or is it Lich? I've always said Lich, and I thought her first name was Tammy, but it's Tamara Lich. Is that correct?
I believe she pronounces it Lich. And even if she doesn't, I feel like that's fitting. So I say Lich.
We were can I just stop the show for a second? Just before we were getting on, I was talking with JB. Ryan, you weren't here. Sorry, because I didn't send you the link in time. My bad. So I'm talking with JB, and we're talking with Karima, who's like the sweetest person in the world, unless you steal her scooter and hit her with it.
True. Fair enough.
Yeah, I saw the video. I know it's true. So she's the sweetest person in the world. And I'm like, man, I'm trying to be a nicer person, and people are really pissing me off these days. Like I said that. And so when I ask about Tamara Lich and stuff like that, and how do you say her name? She's like, I don't know, the last name's appropriate. Just before that, just by, insinuating Leech was a good word. Just before that, she's like, I've been nice this whole time. No one sees that, Karima. Nobody sees that. No one
said
sees
that
you
I was
bragging.
at the intersection of nice and asshole.
Oh, I don't think I heard you say intersection.
I was at the sweet spot in between the two.
Occupying the middle. And JB, he's going the other way. Like, he's always been nice, and now he's going full-on asshole, he said.
Yeah. It's time for a change. I'm in my 30s now. It's time. I've done the nice thing in my 20s.
Yeah.
It's a new decade. It's time for something new.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, we're all our own people here. But what I'm saying is we got three different perspectives. We actually four with Lynn's, because he's actually the smarter of the two of us. And so we've got you cats here. You were in Ottawa. JB, you've experienced what the best has had to offer from this weekend as well. And I kind of wanted to start with just a quick recap, because my understanding is, not only was it a bust weekend for the crew, not only did really nothing happen, which it was I think 400 parking tickets, 90 or 100 cars got towed. They gave out a few hundred other tickets, like public drunkenness, a couple of assaults, a couple of these things. But generally speaking, nothing happened this weekend, no matter how much they tried. What's your take, Karima? Was this like some kind of Was it just an operation to look like they fucking people still care, or was it just one of those things that it's played out, it's done, it's over?
I mean, I think that there is a tendency within this movement to sort of keep trying to recapture what they perceive as, the glory of the convoy or occupation. So there wasn't really any clear leadership on events that were taking place. Like, there were events that got canceled. James Topp was supposed to speak the day after his march, and that was nixed. They tried to have an event to hang Trudeau, but they were at the wrong venue. It was a bit messy, and it wasn't an insignificant number of people, but at the same time, I would say that they were vastly outnumbered by people there to celebrate Canada Day. There were also people who probably didn't show up because they were apprehensive about what might have happened. I think overall it's a good thing that it was uneventful, because when it's eventful, that usually means things are off. There were a couple of arrests involving the alleged assault of a police officer, so that happened. They did manage to paint onto Wellington Street, "Free Pat King, free Tamara Lich, political prisoners." That was power washed away. I'm not really sure how they had the latitude to paint it in the first place, but maybe it was a question of crowd control. I don't know. There were the stragglers wandering about amongst them. But apparently there was like a march on Canada Day. I missed it, which, bad messaging, because I was literally there to see them. So I missed that memo, but I had a nice day nonetheless. And uneventful weekend is a good thing, I think.
It's funny because I saw you posting tweets and pictures and videos. You did a great job at Karima Rules. You got to follow her on Twitter. But I saw you posted a bunch of stuff, and then I saw other people posting this march of freedom people that were marching down the street in the middle of, I don't know, fucking Ottawa somewhere, but they were watching them, and I'm like, I checked your feed. I'm like, no march video. She's like, she bugged out. She's not interested in this, but that was the whole reason that I'm supposed to be there. But you're like, I don't know. I'm not here to document the normal protests. I'm only here to document the crazy protests. That was my thing. I'm like, oh, this is too light for Karima. She wasn't. And someone tweeted me. They're like, Karima's not even paying attention to the real march. She's not reporting on the real march. And I'm like, she's there to report whatever the F she wants. I'm trying not to swear, by the way. How's that going? She's there to report. Yeah, not bad. I'm doing my best. So she's there to report anything she wants, so she doesn't have to report the march. And the anti-vaxxer brought up a great point. He's like, that was the whole reason we were there. And I'm like, yeah, it's a good one. She missed it.
Sorry, guys.
So funny.
That's okay, JB.
And they do a good job documenting it themselves. So I'm not sure why we really need Karima there. These idiots have a camera on every 2 seconds pointing in a direction. So I got tagged in a bunch of videos from it. It's like, look, they're coming to get Trudeau. I'm like, okay, are they going to walk the 2 kilometers down the road, or are they just going to keep walking in a circle downtown? No, they're going to walk in a circle. It's just, no, you missed them, dude. You missed by a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it wasn't just that too, JB. And correct me if Trudeau was there. Trudeau was in Ottawa. I didn't think he was even in Ottawa for this whole thing. So Trudeau's in Ottawa. They got this big plan. They're like, we're going to arrest him for treason from noon to 2. It's going to take 2 hours, everybody. So they block off 2 hours. It didn't happen. But during that time, this was and this is one of those things it's I used to do when I was 12, where I'm like, I'll meet you at the bike racks at 4:00, and I wouldn't show up because I was scared shitless. One of those. It's like, yeah, oh, you want to fight? I'll fight you behind the code. We'll meet you at the school, and then everybody shows up, and I'm not there, and your phone rings like, hey man, we're all waiting for you at this fight. Where are you? I'm like, I never said any of that. That's kind of what happened on the weekend, was it not? Because he was Trudeau was at LeBreton Flats, which was legitimately how far away from where they were holding their wicked ass awesome freedom parade. 2 kilometers? A kilometer?
Yeah. Just down the street.
Yeah, like a kilometer away. I've noticed something. There is a pattern, Dean. I don't know if you've noticed it, but it's kind of my jam in my adult job. They're not very good at logistics or planning things.
Yeah.
I've noticed,
Tough.
or at least organizing it to let people know where and when things are going down.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me because I see it through a different lens, but
Yeah, but you plan logistics. Like you have trucks going in and out of different countries. Yeah, you're like a logistics planner. So as someone who plans for a living, and I know you well, you're a great planner. Like when you show up with food, you got the pork bellies, you got the crab cakes, you got the sous vide, you got it all, you get it all together. It's like he's a great planner. But that is a great point. But my point is this: is that I didn't even think that was the plan. I think they just said shit, right? Like you plan and do. These guys not only were planning and not doing, they weren't going to do any of this to begin with. It's like, let's just say the craziest shit we could possibly say, and let's try to create as much buzz. And I happen to think we fed into it, to be honest with you.
I think you're right.
I happen to think that none of this was even like, how Tom Marazzo was at this thing. He organized the last one, JB. Did you see him? He's like, I'm sleeping in my car. I've got nothing left. And I'm like, how are you going to sustain a fucking, pardon my language, trying to stop swearing. How are you going to sustain? It's not going well. I know that. How are you going to sustain a 200,000 person protest for a month and a half if you're sleeping in your car and you got nothing? Like, I think we were all had, to be honest with you. I think the whole thing, the whole idea was to get Pierre down there so he could march around with a bunch of white supremacists and this dude, James Topp, who legitimately bogeyed Canada's war dead for the last month and a half. Like, who gives a shit about James Topp? I don't. But I think the whole goal was, let's just psyops the whole country into thinking that we're coming back, and let's not do anything. Now, having said that, the police response seemed to be pretty cool, though, Karima, right? Like, you saw the police actually in action, maybe not. I don't know. I think we all got had, to be honest with you. I think we literally got had in yet another operation, and because of the first one, because it was very successful, it feels like they weren't going to do any of this shit anyway. Like they could have arrested Trudeau a kilometer away, and not only did they not go there, they held an event like another kilometer past it. Like they didn't give a shit.
Arrest. Keep in mind, a citizen's arrest.
Sorry, yeah, the
citizen's
arrest.
1,000 opportunities just lost, squandered.
Like, does that make sense? Do you share
No,
this? Does anybody here share the
funeral.
same feeling? Like we all got had?
I don't think they intended it to be a flop.
No, neither do I. I just think that's
but, like,
how
it's
anything they touch
possible
turns
that,
to
like,
shit.
that is kind of the effect, right? And they hype themselves up. And, to some extent, there's still anxiety about what happened over the winter. And, is it possible? Are they coming back? What's going to happen? So I think that, you're not entirely wrong, but they in their heart of hearts, did hope and expect to have more of an impact than they actually did.
You think so?
I mean, I think they believe that, yeah.
These are the same people that believe they were going to arrest Trudeau. Just he's going to come out.
Right.
He's going to come out.
Hands
They're
up.
gonna slap.
He's going to come out of the East Block.
got me.
Hands up. You got me,
I'm a
guys.
pedo.
You took you since 2015, but you figured me out. You got me.
Guys,
George Soros money is in the
laundry
bathroom.
list of pedophilia to admit to. Come get me. Come get me.
Yeah.
There definitely were a lot of cops. There were a lot of cops, more than I've ever seen
Doing stuff
on Canada Day.
Yeah.
Walking around in packs, which I suppose is a deterrent in and of itself. One funny moment, actually, I was hanging out on the grass of Parliament yesterday, just lying down, soaking up the sun. And I was there for a couple of hours, just dozing and what have you. And at one point, I clicked on a video, and it was a freedom song that was playing. And out of nowhere, the parliamentary security just like pops up, and he's like, "Hi, miss. Like, how you doing? What you doing here? What are you listening to?" And I felt targeted because I was like, "No, I'm not with them." But yeah, so I
It's not
think
my weed, it's a friend's.
yeah, so law enforcement was much more vigilant than we saw previously, and I think that's a reflection just of needing to save face and do their job protecting the community.
Yeah, that's
But
my question. Like, was this a command, or was this these guys are like, man, these people embarrassed us last time. Our jobs and our reputation kind of depends on us stepping up this time. Like, that's what I was like. Was that a reputational thing for the Ottawa Police Service? Because they actually did. They were visible, as you said. Like, and I saw some people get their ass kicked, which was fun too, for me.
very, very visible. And hard to ascertain the motivations, right? Did they accomplish?
Yeah.
If there was ulterior motives for allowing the convoy to take route in January, February, did they accomplish what they were looking to do? We did see a resignation of the police chief, who was quite unpopular within his force, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, with that out of the way, and I keep saying this, but it's kind of this ironic, perverse effect of the Freedom Gang making us less free, because we are all less free when there are packs of police roaming the streets.
That's a great point.
I also think too, the City of Ottawa votes this fall, so I think there was a little bit more of a political pressure from the city to the police and to officials to be like, hey, you guys really can't screw us over again for 3 weeks, right? There needs to be something done, because we enter campaigns in 2 months, right? The campaign season starts in 2 months for municipal. So I think there's a little bit of that backdoor conversation. And since the hearings and since the committees have started to come out with some information, I think the City of Ottawa has shown that they tried, or they wanted more done. Nobody did it right the first time. So.
And they took logical preventative measures, right? Like, they barricaded Wellington in parts so that you can't drive up. They were diligent about issuing tickets. Someone tried to set up a tent and bylaw was on them. Someone tried to set up a table and bylaw was on them. So those tools have always been in the toolkit, and they were just utilized this time around.
Yeah, revisionist history is fun to do when you're pissed off. Sorry, Ryan. Revisionist history is fun to do when you're pissed off. Like, where you go back and you go, how is this so hard? Like in February, right? Like, how was this so difficult in February? Like, I know it was colder. I know you guys some of you are a little older and bigger and lazier. And I know Ottawa's a sleepy town, but if you can do it in June, you could probably figure it out in February. You know what I'm saying? Just my thought, right? I could be way off.
I was thinking. I heard a few times when they were comparing the two responses. One of the excuses, which, if true, is sort of legitimate, is that Ottawa was pivoting over the last few years to a community-based policing model rather than an enforcement model. So they had shifted a lot of resource. Now, again, I don't know if that's an excuse or what have you. And the response you saw from bylaw, the reason why you saw those guys really step it up this time is because they're actually directed by City Hall. They're not directed by the police. City Hall
went in there like a green hornet. They're like,
oh yeah, councillors actually direct the city services, and bylaw falls under a municipal service.
All right.
And I noticed another trick that they tried to pull. Did you guys notice that every time bylaw went to shut something down, they tried to say they were some sort of a religion?
Yeah,
we're this such and such a religious. We're praying, and they're like, "Yeah, shut up, get it out."
Was that what they were doing?
Yeah, they were trying to. Yeah,
what's that?
Tell people.
No way. What did they do?
No,
what did they say?
I was just adding to Ryan.
What religion did they pick? We're like, we're Christians. Oh, we're Muslim. Oh, we're this.
I don't believe they actually stated a denomination. They said that they were there as a religious group to pray and offer prayers as they were handing out arrest Trudeau stickers from the table. So,
is that this video? Is that the Jesus group around the table? Karima, this might be your video. Let me play this for you. See how this works.
Everybody, enough is enough.
Yeah.
Quiet!
I would like to offer a prayer to everybody now.
Hats off.
Hats off, people.
Yeah, what do we got here? What is that? Is that what you're talking about?
The Church of
did you hear them? Did you hear? Did you hear? We're performing a religious ceremony here, and that's why he was yelling "hats off" at the end, because they were going to pretend to pray to try and keep bylaw off their ass. It's so good.
What is this? A hockey game? Like for the national anthem? Like
All the tricks.
you
know what's amazing to me is how these guys
good
know,
attempt.
like the law inside the law that no one knows, and all the tricks that no one else seems to know too.
Every loophole under control.
Yeah.
Every loophole.
It's the loophole crowd, right? It's like, what's the fucking fastest way for me to be? Just make shit up. Okay.
If you listen closely in the background, somebody cracked the best joke when they said this is a religious ceremony, and somebody, yeah, you're in a fucking cult, all right. So it was actually great. The audio's there. If you turn it up a bit, you'll hear it. It's really funny. Was that you, Karima? Did you film that?
No, I think that's Mackenzie Gray, but it's my style.
It
really
It is your style. Yeah, fuck, it's the best. Everybody's stealing from you. Mackenzie Gray did the Karima tour this weekend. Justin Ling did the Karima tour. Everybody's doing Karima journalism. That's what it's going to be called now. You know how they call it Gonzo journalism? We're going to change it. It's called Karima journalism. Yeah, that's all it is. By the way, before we get to one of your videos, I just want to say that this might have been my favorite picture from the weekend.
Come on. That was me like 8 years ago, right there.
Some redneck
did you get that
show
off
me
my
that
Facebook?
butthole hat.
Show me that butthole.
wearing overalls, and that's it. He's anyway. That was my favorite from this weekend. I don't know if he was there for the Canada Day celebrations. You had a video that shook the world actually this weekend. You know which one I'm talking about? I think you do.
I think I do.
I'm going to play this for you. This is our biggest post all weekend, and how did I do it? Simple. I stole Karima's content and put it on DeanBlundell.com. Yes, I'm not an idiot. JB, you may have seen this. I want to get into how you knew who this guy was, but this was just like, hey, folks, listen, if you have like extremist ties, if you're a white supremacist and you want to hang the prime minister, and you work for the government, maybe don't scream this into a camera. Watch this.
Hey, hail. Death to Trudeau, hang him, fuck him, faggot.
He literally said...
Yeah, in case you wondered what he said, it said, hail, death to Trudeau, F him, then he used the F slur for a gay person, and then he says, hang him. Now, when you posted that's your video, correct? That's your camera guy, he comes along. Did you bait him into saying that? Because a lot of people were saying, nope, she baited him. She baited him into saying that. That's an actor. That's
What
not a real
could I
person.
possibly say to bait someone?
How does that conversation
into
start?
behaving in that way? Pardon me,
Excuse me, sir. What is the worst, most vile thing you would ever say on a camera that you
Would
don't
you say
mean?
it here,
Go.
No, Kareem was holding up SNL style cue cards in the back, and he was trying to read it, flipping the page.
Like, and the idea that he's a brand also, or a paid actor. I mean, it seems unlikely because I've spoken to people who know him in real life. And no, he was there in the convoy, like in February. I have some footage of him from then. And this is just who he is. Now, he may not be representative of every single person's views. That's a given whenever you have a group. But this movement certainly seems to attract a lot of people of that ilk. And that is not my fault. I am just there recording what is happening. So he was walking around in the crowd, kind of muttering to himself. And all of this was said unprompted. So I don't know what possessed him to do that for the
Probably
camera.
racism.
I think that's it's the first joke.
No.
I don't know.
Karima totally baited him. She says, "What's the weather calling
she
for?"
paid-
They said
she paid
hail.
for it. Yeah, I'm gonna
They said
feed
hail.
into the conspiracy.
She asked, "What would you call this bundle of sticks?" He used the F slur. And he was talking about hanging a Trudeau flag. That's all
Yeah,
it
he
was.
was hanging 'em,
Unbelievable.
No, but listen, like,
Hung? Yeah, hang.
but did he when you has he received negative attention since you posted that? I think he has.
So I'm not putting his name out there or anything like that. That's not really my jam.
No.
So I don't
Me
know
neither.
that he has like had that wave unless it's people who know him. But as I said, like I've been in touch with people who know him, and that video is being shared with the relevant sources because not only does he work for the federal government, he's in like a cyber security role.
So high clearance role.
Yeah, so that's like
That's great.
really.
Does he have Q level clearance?
He said, this guy. So let's watch this again. Thank you, Karima, for I forgot that we should have mentioned the part that he works in cybersecurity for the Canadian. Worked, maybe is probably the better word now. But this guy worked in cybersecurity for Justin Trudeau and the federal government, protecting us from bad actors. This guy, watch this.
Hey, hail. Death to Trudeau. Hang him. Fucking faggot.
He literally said,
You know what I think is really cute about that is the girl that like ignored the F shot and the other stuff. She's like, oh, he said hail. He literally said hail. But that is of course, reference to Hitler. Hail Hitler. Fuck that guy. Hail to the white supremacists. Hail to whatever. I mean, you know, a guy like that would be like, you don't know what I was hailing. I mean, you could have been hailing a cab. There's lots of the other stuff is not open to interpretation. Like death to Trudeau, calls him the F shot, and then he goes, fucking hang him.
Yeah.
I did learn actually that hail is apparently a greeting used in Wiccan communities, but I don't think that's what was happening there.
He doesn't look like a Wiccan to me.
He didn't look like no witch. And it's funny that you bring up the IT thing. We just went through this here in Hamilton back in like 2018. We had an IT specialist working for the municipal government here that was part of a far right wing white supremacy seditionist, like absolutely shit, and for years, and people knew about it, and nothing was ever done until it finally hit the media, and they went, "Oh, I guess we should probably fire that guy." And it's just a weird thing with IT nerds and being white supremacists, I guess. It's
that alt-right pipeline. I've talked about this on my show and on my channel and stuff all the time. That it starts with. And I said this to Dean earlier in our call today that like starts with some 16, 15-year-old looking up, funny stuff on YouTube. And then he gets recommended that Jordan Peterson video. And then that Jordan Peterson video recommends this and that. And next thing you know, he's 19, 20 getting that IT job. Right. And working there, but still has these extremist beliefs. Right. It's actually more of a problem in IT than I think people think. That's
really interesting. That's something to follow up.
From experience as somebody who's been in IT.
But it would make sense, right? Like a lot of the people that we know that come from that side of this equation that are brought into the extremist portion of any movement spend a lot of time in silos, right? They spend a lot of time just in one thing, doing one thing. IT people literally just on a computer all day long, and they go to these sources that feel familiar, and then they do stuff like this where they literally, like, this is the part, the disconnect for me is like, wouldn't any of these people, and I know, listen, a lot of people got mad at me this weekend, and we'll get to that in just a second. A lot of people got mad at me this weekend because I have very strong views on people like this that represent the whole. Right. I have very strong views and very serious convictions that a guy like that just said Heil and F Trudeau, he's an F shot and let's fucking hang him, are supported in large part by a guy who wants to govern us. That bothers me. Right. This Pierre Poilievere shit bothers me. And the reason it doesn't bother me, like he doesn't live rent free in my head, I feel like we've got a social responsibility to just tell the truth about the genesis of how this stuff becomes this stuff and who these people are. But I can't get over that part of this, right? Like if you're me, that's the one thing that you think of all the time. It's like this part is like this guy that wants to kill Trudeau, this guy who literally says, let's fucking hang the guy. Pardon my language. And I'm trying to stop swearing. I don't know if I've mentioned that. It's not going great. But this guy who's like, I want to hang Trudeau, death to him. Heil. Let's bring back some fucking Nazi references. Again, I should stop swearing. But he can't help himself literally because it's so deep inside him. Because for the past 15 to 20 years, all he's done is sat in front of a computer going, these guys in QAnon, they're onto something. They got to be onto something. No one dedicates this kind of time. And they love the sleuth and the cloak and dagger. Yeah. And they hate their lives. And they've been told that. And they're anonymous, incel. Like they're all of these things kind of come together. There's this confluence where, people that are in this business or on that side of the business truly do and are susceptible to this kind of radicalization over a long period of time. Like that guy just didn't wake up before the last convoy and go, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go out and act like a loser in the snow for 3 weeks. Like that is when you repeat that into a camera, like your cameraman literally went up to him. Let's play it one more time. Like literally went up to him. If someone came up to me with the camera, I would shut up because I'm not an idiot. This guy might be an idiot, might not. He's a cybersecurity expert. Sounds like he's kind of smart, but he's that mad that he didn't give a shit, which should concern a lot of people.
Hey, hail. Death to Trudeau. Hang him. Fucking faggot.
He literally said,
You know what I mean?
Literally said hail.
He literally said hail.
He had to stop
literally
himself
said
to
it.
remember to say it. That was
Yeah.
the best part. He's like, oh, no, I didn't mean to say hello. I meant to say hail.
He was so flustered he almost took a guy out with his flag too. Did you see that at the end? The guy.
Yeah.
Have people told you who he is? Have people given you his name? I know you're not going to give his name.
Yes.
Yeah. And are his bosses, because he's a cybersecurity expert apparently with the government, are his bosses aware of it, Karima?
They should be by now.
I'm
Yep.
sure they are now. Yeah. They probably
This
have
is
a Twitter
quiet
account. Let's be
confidence.
honest.
Yeah.
They're probably following
Back-
that guy.
Just to reel it back to what you said, though, Dean, the last 2.5 years have been inherently, to normal, fact-loving, truth-seeking people like ourselves, has been pretty fucking boring. Science of a pandemic is inherently boring.
Yeah.
People are trying, and we've talked about this so many times about how your brain is wired to find a solution or a resolve. And sometimes when you don't have an answer fast enough, your brain tries to work ahead of itself to try and find the easiest solution, because you cannot be at unease. Like, you're not to be under stress. Your body is not prepared, or is not designed to take it for a long
Doesn't
term.
like hard things. No.
So it finds a solution. It gives them an answer. It gives them resolve. Be it they may not have believed that 2.5 years ago, and then all of a sudden, subconsciously, this shit will eat away at people to the point where it becomes embedded. Like, it's embedded in their being and in their train of thought, because they can sleep at night, but now they have a job to do to get rid of that threat that is non-existent. The real threat is still there, which is the COVID-19 and all that actual real boring stuff. But the exciting threat is something that they can go and touch and try and do. And unfortunately, Trudeau, be it the asshole that he is sometimes, became the scapegoat for those people. And here we are, still dealing with it. So how do you deprogram an entire fringe portion of a not even just Canada, like, this is around the world. This is everywhere, right? So how do you do that? I think it's technically impossible.
I don't know. I have a question, though, because the support that this gets from, like, people who appear to be legitimate is pretty unbelievable still. Like, this dude, who's Viva Frey? Viva Frey? Who is this guy? Karima, do you know who he is?
He's a lawyer and a YouTuber. He used to put out videos just kind of about legal issues and sharing information. And
Yeah.
I believe he was a PPC candidate, if I'm not mistaken, in the last election in Montreal. And, he was at the convoy. He documents. And he, I think, is largely aligned with the freedom movement.
Yeah. Okay. Because
He got last place in his riding.
Did he really?
Yeah.
He finished dead last in his riding.
Last.
All the PPCs, right? They pretend it's real, but it ain't. It's so cute to watch. So he's a lawyer. That's what I heard. I heard listen, I heard he's a failed lawyer. That's what I heard.
Podcaster or something.
Okay, you're not a film lawyer. You do both. You do law and you do journalism. I don't know if I call this guy journalistic, though. He's buddies with Pierre Poilievere, that much I know. He's friends with a bunch of guys at Ontario Proud and Canada Proud and Pokes Millennial and stuff like that. And so we had a tweet this weekend, and this is how I got to know Viva Frey, is we put out a tweet this weekend about Pierre Poilievere. Viva Frey is a nutter. He was the reason I had to make my profile private for a couple of months. Viva Frey. Now I'm going to make him my job. I like this stuff. So I tweeted, ladies and gents, because you remember when Pierre marched with the extremists and the alt-white supremacists on the weekend, and I tweeted, ladies and gents, the leader of the alt-white Jesus freaked extremist Wiener Brigade, and it had like thousands and thousands and thousands of likes and retweets and a bunch of comments. Well, 3 days later, look at this. This is June 30th. 3 days later, I forgot this fucking thing existed. I had no idea. Viva chimes in 3 days late. His wife is Venezuelan, you shameless hate-spewing moron.
Clarence Thomas's wife is white, you fucking idiot.
A lot of
I'm not
Venezuelans are
racist.
white
I have a black
also.
friend. That's
Yeah.
it. It's like,
What's that, Karima? Say
Sorry,
that again.
Karima.
Like a lot of Venezuelans are white, including Pierre Poilievre's wife.
Yeah, Amanda. Apparently, she's a white Venezuelan. I didn't know. I had no idea.
I didn't know Venezuelan was a race.
But this guy, it just made me laugh so hard because so I get this. All of a sudden, I start getting pounded with bots and other people, right? And I'm like, oh, I know what this is. This happened during the convoy. These guys do it. So Viva is like one of the people that or Viva. How do you say his name? Am I saying it right? Viva.
I think it's Viva.
Viva.
I say
Viva, I think. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Las
So,
Vegas.
so he's turned into a profiteer and a grifter, and what he's done is over the past little while he's taken his profile and turned it into like a repeater for talking points for Pierre, different people on the right, anti-mandate people, and he does it all with a smile and just says he's eccentric, but he's also like clearly fucking terribly misinformed because Venezuelan isn't a race, and he did this. I found out he did this on behalf of Pierre Poilievre, and they offered up his wife as a Venezuelan. So Viva, this is what I found out. They cooked this up, the conservatives, because this tweet went viral. The fact that I called him an alt-white Jesus freak extremist of the Wiener Brigade, the leader of the alt-right. I didn't say he was a racist. I said, and in fact, I didn't say anybody in there was racist. I said he leads the alt-white Jesus freak extremist brigade. So Viva, what he did for Pierre is they wanted to turn it into a race thing. Right? They wanted to turn it into the fact that they wanted to paint me as racist. So what they did was Viva goes on the offensive. Randy Hillier's lawyer, David Amber, who apparently is like a part-time lawyer, part-time real estate guy, part-time chambermaid, he tweeted out to like 40,000 people. Viva tweets this out to 100,000 people. And then all of a sudden, all the Upwork accounts started coming after us. Some real, some not. But literally, the Conservative Party and Pierre Poilievre paid trolls. They paid them. I found this out because several of them sent me notes. They're like, we're just part of this Upwork account campaign where we were hired by some anonymous thing just to retweet certain talking points about, get this, trans people, grooming, called me a groomer, said I hate trans, and then they hired some people to pretend they were indigenous people to say I'm racist against indigenous people. That went on all day long yesterday. It was literally from this tweet, and it was spearheaded by this Viva Frey guy who absolutely gets paid by Pierre Poilievre's people to do things like this. Right. So like while he's out there smiling like a jack off and like the guy we know he is, he's got these little people in the background that are like bot trolling people, real people, some bots, some not. They've all got the same script. And it was amazing. JB, you watched it. You took part in that whole thing yesterday.
I was involved.
Karima sends me a note and she's like, oh my, your mentions. You know, like
I was napping at Parliament, I told you, and then I wake up and see this.
Yeah. But it was very reminiscent of the previous one. What is your take, JB? What was your take on it? Because you got right involved in it too, which was fucking brilliant. But same talking points, same script, same stuff, same accounts, and it was all taken out of context. And Viva Frey was paid to do it along with his buddy David Amber, who is another PPC / conservative fucking hack. Pardon my language. I'm trying to stop swearing.
I was trying to pull it up while you were talking, but I couldn't seem to find it because the one tweet that I have has so many friggin' replies. But so when PP there put out his wood video that we're probably going to talk about here in a minute.
Oh yeah, so hot.
I tweeted out. I replied to the tweet saying I have a 4-minute video of me rubbing wood too, but it's on a different site. Fucking stupid joke. I found it. So this guy named Louis43 tweeted out a picture of Justin Trudeau in blackface.
Yeah.
So and I replied back. I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? And then I look at the replies of the video of the tweet. Sorry, this Louis43 guy tweeted out probably 50 times different Trudeau talking points about how he's racist and this and that. And like, how many followers does he have? He has 20 followers.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Like he's really hitting the social media there really well. But like it was clear, like there's no way a human is doing this. Like it's impossible. Like who is that insane? but also, what does anything I have to do with my tweet of me saying I have another video? I'm just making fun of the wood comment. I wasn't even politically making a statement. I was just saying this is a dumb video. This is a dumb tweet that I'm going to make because this is dumb. And they make it a political thing just because it was the most liked tweet under his video, so it's being attached, right? So
it was all time, like it was convoy-esque this weekend,
it was.
as far as the bots go.
Our
right?
socials were absolutely insane,
hopping.
Yeah,
and I think there's like people out there that think that I don't like that. Just so you know, I was fucking born for that. That's why God put me on this earth to Twitter fight.
Can I pull back the curtain a little bit too?
Sure, go ahead. Yeah,
just so that they also know that pays the bills around here, guys. Keep it up, please.
Love it.
The engagement is fucking fantastic for our sales numbers. And when you look and you like, here's our engagement for the month. They're like, holy shit, good for you guys.
Yeah,
here's some more money.
But it was fascinating to see it because that's what Viva does. Apparently, is that this cat is one of those dudes who likes to set people up. And then all the bots come in and they chase it down. And I got a video of him because he's a big MAGA guy. And he also, he's a profiteer, right? Like a lot of these guys are big profiteers. I want you to watch this. This is him taking donations on his YouTube channel. Everywhere he goes, he stops and he takes more donations and he spreads more bullshit. And this is kind of what he does. I would love to have this guy on the show because even though he's a lawyer, I could probably undress him in about 5 minutes, literally. Because I've watched enough about this guy, still don't know how to say his name properly. But over the past couple of days, I've learned enough about this guy to know how fucking terrible of a lawyer he was and why he is begging for money on YouTube. Watch it.
MAGA month, everybody. Andre Tukulescu. Shout out to Yankee Pollack for the profile pic. He sends his best wishes. I saw Yankee Pollack's profile pic on Twitter. I know it's something of a gag or a meme. The MAGA week, MAGA month. I don't change my profile pic. For any cause, even one I believe in, I just don't do it. I don't like. It's not my thing. And I know people are doing the MAGA month, changing their profile pic. Who would have thought I'd be down in? I'd come down to Florida for MAGA month.
There you go. He's a big MAGA guy, big Florida guy, big Trump guy too as well. So there you go.
The black and white Viva Frey in his top right corner there is also a dog whistle.
Is it why? To what?
So the black and white flag is an alt-right.
Is it?
Flag. So the color scheme is
it's
clearly pandering, right, to that group.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
But he made sure to mention he was Jewish several times yesterday online too. He was like,
of course he did.
Can't be racist. I'm Jewish. I'm like, what? How does that work? How does that work? Who wants to talk about the Pierre Poilievere lumber sexual video? Anybody? Hands up.
I might get too excited if I can.
I was just going to say, both hands up, please, everybody.
You
both
too,
hands.
Karima.
I got
I want
3
to see
too.
everybody's hands.
Listen, I didn't want to play this, but I'm going to play it. I don't know how much of this I'm going to play. I'll play a little bit of it, but this has been the talk of the fucking internet for the past couple of days, and it has been because Pierre Poilievere is literally fucking weird. And I said this the other day. I'm like, this is just fucking weird. Like, you can say what you like about politics, you can say all that stuff. This is bizarre to me, and it's so weird to me that if you put it to porn music, it makes more sense. But anyway, this is Pierre Poilievere. And this is him talking about wood, and it's apparently, well, fuck, here it is. I can't explain it anymore.
Look at these scars. Each one of them represents the swing of an axe by a logger, converted by hand, logs into posts and beams that became the bones of barns that dotted the countryside of Canada for hundreds of years. This post and these boards were probably on a barn for centuries. I picked them up from a local farmer. $10 a board, $50 a post. I had to clean them by hand, scrape off all the shit and mud, debris in order to bring out this beautiful honeycomb exterior that you see now. But it made me think, why did I go through so much trouble when I could have simply gone to a hardware store and picked up some boards that I could have painted whatever color I wanted. They would have been planed and perfectly cut rather than jagged and out of line like this wood behind me? Why is it that so many coffee shops and restaurants go through the same trouble that I did? I think it's because these boards have a story. Not only the hard work of the men and women who built these barns, but also the way that nature, through wind, sun, rain, sleet, painted this beautiful patina on the outside of them. And what I'm doing, and what all of us do when we bring these boards into our house, is we are reclaiming
All of us do.
something that was already
Dog
there.
whistle.
And that's what my campaign is about. It's not about inventing some brand new utopia out of scratch. It's about reclaiming the freedom that is our natural right. Freedom is not an old idea. It's not a new idea. It's a timeless idea. It's one that we discover and sometimes lose. And our tradition of freedom goes back about 800 years to the Magna Carta in the fields of Runnymede, when the commoners forced King John
The meat is
to
running.
sign the Great Charter. But they didn't invent freedom on that day. They reclaimed it.
So let's stop there, shall we? Because that's fucking crazy.
So creepy.
So
Karima wins the internet today, by the way.
yeah, that was
He
great.
standing next to some wood. That's why we were dying laughing. If folks, if you're not watching this on Dean Blundell TV on Twitch or YouTube, Dean Blundell Show on YouTube, Karima was sidling up next to a wooden post that was next to the pool that she's at, pretending she was Pierre, and I fucking lost it. It was so funny. Thank you.
So the funny
It
thing
hurt.
with that video too is when I downloaded it to make my TikTok video that I made.
Yeah.
I was trying to find it in my feed, but when you download a video from TikTok or from Twitter, it attaches the meta tags to it, so it'll actually tell you when the video was edited and made on it. And that was at least edited and rendered on June 1st. So they've been sitting on that video for over a month. I just had to double check on my phone because when I was trying to find the video to put over, like, do the TikTok effects to it, I couldn't find it. I'm like, where's this video? I had to download like 4 times and to scroll back on my feed because it's sitting in my camera roll back because it orders in chronological order.
Yeah.
So it was like, and I was like, June 1st. He made this. This was edited on June 1st. He sat on this for a month and said, now's the time. This is not like
Drop
now.
it.
Post it. Drop it.
the wood video.
Karima, can you put out an FOI request for his emails? I wanted just a keyword wood video, and I want to see how many times he bugged his people, like, hey, can we put that video out yet? Not yet, Pierre. Not yet. Just wait.
Yeah.
Wait,
Come on,
Pierre. I know.
guys, it's so hot. I'm so
It
hot
speaks
right
to
now. over the
strategy,
wood.
though, right? That,
What do you
like,
mean?
first of all, everyone's talking about this video.
Yeah.
And it's something of a distraction from the fact that he was marching with this unpopular group, and it boosts his profile, right? Obviously we're all ridiculing and mocking him, but it is disseminating his message, so there's something to be said for that.
The crazy part to me is that message was like historically inaccurate as well. Like, if you know anything about the Magna Carta 1215, why it was signed, King John was a poor sap. The Stuart clan, it was called the Stuart Rebellion. They were aristocrats, the aristocracy, noblemen who used to have the throne in England. About 100 years before that, they got kicked out by King John's family. They're like, fuck, we want the throne back. Of course you do. The throne's awesome. You get all the gold, you get the church, you get to be in charge, all that stuff. And so what the Stuarts did to take part in the Stuart Rebellion, sorry if I'm adding some historical content to the out and out bullshit lie he told in that wood porn video.
But Runnymede.
The Runnymede, yeah. Well, you got that. He nailed that. It was near Runnymede. But what happened was the Stuarts forced King John to signing this, basically the world's first human rights agreement, right? Which is, you're not going to come after our shit. You're not allowed to. We're human and we have rights. They weren't commoners. The Stuarts were noblemen who went and told the commoners the king is coming for your shit so that they could justify an uprising. Well, guess what he's doing right now with that wood video, talking about reclamation, the exact same fucking thing. Sorry, I'm swearing. I'm trying not to. But anyway, my point is this. Yeah, I know it sucks. But my point is this, is that nobody's going to look into that. Nobody's going to go, hey, let's look into the Magna Carta. When was it signed? When was it? Who was there? King John. Who were the Stuarts? What's the Stuart Rebellion? All that stuff. How did the Stuart Rebellion start? That was the first recorded time that people used disinformation to go after a government. Did you know that? in history.
Yeah.
It was in 1215. I read about the Stuart Rebellion 2 weeks ago. And you know why I read about the Stuart Rebellion 2 weeks ago is I listened to a podcast where these guys were talking about where disinformation started. So I was really grateful Dickhead thought he'd just haul out some crazy Magna Carta reference, because he just counts on the fact that his base is not as dumb as us or not as smart as us, one of the two. But there are people out there who know something about the Magna Carta. There are people out there who know something about history, which he bastardizes to do the exact same thing. Like, dude, this is repeating itself 800 years later, repeated itself in the United States over the past several years. It's repeating itself here. That's my take. Anyone else?
No, you're right.
In the World War II and in the those times, right? Like misinformation and fear, right? It was it unfortunately, sorry to steamroll over you there, Ryan, but like,
no, it's okay.
It's what the right, mainly the right. I'm not saying all the right. Sometimes it happens on the left. It's what the right does to scare people, right? Uses this fear, this intimidation, this drive, reclaim your own, own your worth, all that stuff, because it works, and it works very well, right?
Did you see what happened in Boston this weekend?
Yeah.
So what happened in Boston this weekend? One of the keywords that those guys were using was reclaim America, reclaim, and then all of a sudden this video comes out that's a month old. So there you go. We're dealing with very like it's out in the open. They're not even trying to hide it. They're not saying the quiet parts quiet. They're saying them as loud as they can, and we know, everybody knows, like anybody that's got any sort of sense of perception of what's going on around us right now can see it. The other side just can't, even if, because I'm not saying everybody that's on the right is a racist, white nationalist, whatever, but they won't admit that that's exactly what they're doing. I heard today a couple of pundits talking on one of the local radio stations, and one of them is an ardent conservative, very, very steadfast, staunch conservative. And she said, I'm done. After this weekend and after him marching with that guy, that was the straw that broke my back. If he is the leader of the Conservative Party, I will not be voting for Conservatives for the first time in my life. And it was a shock coming from her. I'm not going to name her, but they're done. Anybody that's on that middle road of the Conservative Party that has been a Conservative member is finished with this party. They're all fed up with him because the party leadership's not doing anything about it. They just, let him go. Just let him keep doing his thing. Just let him keep doing his thing. They think bolstering the fringe and getting that small, tiny little handful, not realizing that they're marginalizing their entire base to accommodate the fringe. And it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense from somebody with a political background. It makes no sense there's no way this is going to work. For one, it might work for a leadership bid, but it won't work. He won't be ever elected a prime minister in this country.
He's already polling so poorly against Trudeau, even right now. And Trudeau's unpopular, right? So
exactly.
If PP was the leader, he would lose if an election was called today, and lose potentially into majority territory for Trudeau, which is
they're moving the anchor to the more extreme, right? So, like that, I think is a strategy. Will it be effective? I don't know. But in normalizing the more radical elements, suddenly everything shifts a bit more to the right. So that's my perception of what's going on. And just looking at Pierre Poilievre's track record on Indigenous issues. The idea of reclaiming Canada, if anyone has a right to say that, it's Indigenous people. Literally. And I can't imagine that he would be receptive to that. So very clear, they are definitely saying the quiet parts out loud. And the analogy, right, of reclaiming a post from a log by trimming the excess, like that is concerning. If we're talking about a government and how it deals with people and who is considered to be the excess, is that disabled people? Is that seniors? Is that who are we trimming to create this post? So the metaphor is disturbing.
Yeah. Remember when he said it I had to get the shit in the mud off of these boards? That's,
He did it himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and he talked about doing it himself, right? And the video is much longer. Not even as funny as the one that JB did today on his TikTok channel. Sheep King JB, watch this. This is great.
Look at these scars. Each one of them represents the swing of an axe by a logger, converted by hand. Logs into posts and beams that became the bones of barns that dotted the countryside of Canada.
All right, Pierre, I have a 4-minute video of me rubbing wood too, but I don't post that on Twitter. So Skippy here made a video. Something about wood and how he likes wood and swing him an axe, and tried to segue it into reclaiming your own. I can't even describe how fucking idiotic this video is. But my favorite thing from this is not the message, not anything, is how much he's getting clowned on for posting a 4-minute video of him rubbing wood. That's the next conservative leader of Canada, everybody.
Yeah, point taken.
Well done.
Yeah,
I didn't even need to be excited about that. I was just like, this. I made that half asleep on that bed right there. It was like, well, this is waking up and making this one.
Oh, it was so good. The French version's even more porno. Have you guys seen the French version? He did 2 versions of this back in June, by the way. Oh yeah, and it looked. You know, the amazing part is in English. It actually looked pretty impromptu. But then you watch it in French, you're like, this guy fucking practiced this. This guy practiced that terrible speech.
Regardez ces cicatrices. Chacun.
By the way, this is way hotter in French. It's way sexier in French. This is
yeah.
real lumbersexual talk in French.
Représente le coup de hache des agriculteurs qui ont écarré ce bois en poteaux pour bâtir des granges dans lesquelles ils faisaient leur travail il y a 100 ans ou 200 ans. Et aussi, pour les regarder, ces planches. Je les ai achetées. Celui-là pour 50 $.
Here's me in the gloves.
Ici pour 10 $.
Here's me in the gloves in the hot, red hot shirt, looking all buff and shit. I feel good about me. I feel great.
The home hardware glove.
The homme de Paul.
Oh, bonjour, mes amis. Let's rub the wood. Big time. Look at me rubbing. I said the other day, I'm like, someone's got to put this to porno music. And someone did, thank God.
Immediately.
And then, you know what they did too is they added Karima. You'll love this. I've never seen porn in my life, but I've heard about it. And
not swearing or lying today, apparently, folks.
At all. Zero. But I've never seen porn in my life. But this is like it even has the, you know, when you used to watch porn and you get the flickering screen because you're trying to you're like, oh, just press pause on the VCR. I'll be able to see a boob. That kind of stuff.
Channel or whatever.
They even added that into this. It's so good. Watch. And it makes. Dude, and it's porn. The tracking. You're right. You got it.
Look at these scars. Each one of them represents the swing of an axe by a logger, converted by hand. Logs into posts and beams that became the bones of barns that dotted the countryside hundreds of years. These boards probably on a barn.
I'm hard.
Oh,
sorry.
me too. I don't know about you guys, but I can't keep it together. Yeah.
Put that on my OnlyFans. Holy shit.
Ooh, Pierre's got us. Pierre's got us with his porno videos.
I wish you posted that on TikTok so I could stitch that and recreate it.
We have the best. We have the best fans.
I know. Do we ever? Someone also sent me this too after we posted the video. It's because he keeps holding up pictures of wood. My wood.
He loves
Justin's
it.
wood.
He loves wood, eh?
Oh my god.
He's a big wood guy.
Remember when he went and bought the one piece of wood? No, that was never mind. That was the guy from the States. Sorry, I'm getting my white guys.
Ben Shapiro, I think.
Ben Shapiro went to Home Depot and bought one piece of wood in a bag.
Yeah.
He'd never been to a Home Depot in his life.
He bagged a
Exactly.
piece of 2x4.
Conservatives pretending that they're hip are my favorite. Like, did you see Monty McNaughton this weekend talking about he was doing a job at the cottage and he was holding the DeWalt bags and the bag still had the plastic on it. Like he's trying to tell people he just finished the tough job and it's not even open. It was so good. They don't know what they're doing.
No, they don't.
Oh,
and you know what's funny is that, like, I started thinking about it because the reason why we went after Pierre pretty hard this weekend, and Pierre's fans and bots came after us. And you know, when everything stopped, this is the truth, is when they're like, he's not racist, you are. And I'm like, I don't know. This seems pretty racist. Like the time he was like, when he said Canada's Aboriginals need to learn the value of hard work more than they need compensation for abuse suffered in residential schools. Remember that? Does everybody hands up if you remember that? Anybody?
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
I remember that. I read a whole article on it on the weekend. So Viva Frey, if you're listening and you're watching, and I know you probably are, someone's going to send this to you. First of all, nice to meet you, you fuck. Sorry, I'm trying not to swear.
Doing a good job.
But thank you. But to that point, Pierre Poilievere is racist, and he has said many racist things, including this, which he had to apologize for in 2018, where he's like, Aboriginals need to learn the value of hard work more than they need to compensation for abuse suffered in residential schools.
Yikes.
That is not a good thing to say, and indicative of someone who is racist. So the next time one of you mouth-breathing maggots comes after me and says, oh, how dare you, his wife's Venezuelan. I don't give a fuck where his wife's from.
Is that what they sound like?
Yeah.
All of them, strangely, when they call a
Breathe heavy
voicemail. Yeah.
No one cares. Nobody cares that he's married to a Venezuelan. They care that he's a piece of shit who was like telling everybody through some wood porn that he's going to help you get back your life from all the people that want to make you progress into a better person, and they want Canada to be a better place. That's what that was. That's the only way I can read it. It's the only thing I see. It's all I see, especially when you consider the fucking individual. This is the guy. That is exactly who he is on the inside. And his fans, whether they're his fans or not, are equally as insane and confused as him. JB, you took it from these four guys this weekend. Is that what I'm?
Oh yeah, these lovely Brady Bunch characters that I. Oh man, where do I even begin?
I don't know.
I made a video. So I didn't actually make a video. I was just doing my TikTok stuff, and I got tagged in a video from this guy with like blurred out bodies, basically saying, "Hey JB, are you okay with this?" And it's a photo from Toronto Pride of the nudist parade as the nudist float that was walking through Pride. The funny thing is in the photo he picked in the video, if the nudist got out of the way, you would see my face standing there because it was actually right in the intersection that I was standing in, which is also really funny to me. But he was trying to say, is this okay? This is indoctrinating kids. Are you okay with nudists at Pride? Blah, blah, blah. And I replied basically just saying, yeah, it's Pride. Like if you take your kid to Pride, you're expecting to see some things that maybe you need to have a conversation with your kid about the things you're going to see. It's like if you take your kid to an R-rated movie, you have to expect that there's going to be blood, violence, sex. Like that's just the expectation, right? Yes, it's a public place. Yes, it's a public parade. And it's one of the biggest celebrations in Toronto every year, right? So it's you want to bring your kids there, but at the same time, good parenting would dictate you need to have that conversation with your child about what the things you're about to see. That's it. That's all I said in the video. These people, I'm trying to be nice.
It's a full set of teeth between the four of them, by the way. I can't.
One of them doesn't have any, and that's a true statement.
Guy top left, he's got very few chiclets left. These guys are all very hairy. Go ahead. Sorry.
The guy on the bottom right made 7 videos about me in about an hour. And one of them's the mic drop one. Like he thought he got the aha gotcha moment because apparently I was there, and that makes me okay with it. That was his mic drop moment. Like I thought about sending the videos, but they're pointless. They all got like 3 views, and like all these people only got like 100 followers. They're clearly
look at all those likes,
right?
Wow.
Like look at the engagement. The guy in the bottom left has good engagement. I'll give him that. But the guy on the top right, 2 likes, 0 comments. Like just really convincing the masses there. But they made a lot of videos about me, all trying to say I'm a, there's the tags.
Oh wow,
there's the tags.
Jesus Christ.
So the guy with the family photo is the guy in the bottom right. He made a bunch.
Oh, that is he really? Dude, he made like 100 videos of you this weekend. There's another one. There's another one.
More. This is all in the
another
course
one.
of
There's
like,
another one, dude. He made like 8
Holy
videos of you in 20 minutes.
Apparently, I'm a terrible person for allowing kink at Pride. That's been there since forever.
Have we noticed the return of like let's be shitty to gay people and trans people? Have we noticed a return to that?
Yeah, because it's Pride. It's Pride.
Is that, yeah, I know it's Pride, but like it comes out of nowhere too. It's one of those things, Karima, that comes out of nowhere where you're like, you know, you'll say, hey, this is wrong, and they'll go, oh yeah, that's wrong. Do you think it's right to take a kid to a drag show? And you're like, dude, I was talking about football. Like,
I mean, that's never really gone away, but there's definitely been a resurgence of it. And even if we look back to the platform for the Ontario Party, you know, there was one of the bullet points was talking about grooming and, you know, sex ed for kids and how it's inappropriate.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's a groomer too, by the way.
Yeah.
Everyone doesn't agree with him is a fucking total groomer, which I'm like, I don't even get it anymore. Like, I'm at that point, you know, when your parents are like, I don't get what the kids talk about these days. I'm at that point where, like, out of nowhere, someone will just go, Dean, you're a fucking racist groomer. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I just woke up. It's like 7:30. I didn't do anything yet.
Yeah.
Would you give me a minute?
Sorry, Cream. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No interruption at all. That's just funny. But yeah, there has been a resurgence of that. And, you know, we see it in the States as well. And it's always kind of the pushback, right? When there's progress, there's pushback. And it's strong pushback right now.
Yeah, it's
a nice
just
way to put it.
The funny thing for me is that, you know, I went to Pride, I saw that, and I looked. I'm like, oh, it's naked people. Next float, like it's literally just one of the floats of the 3-hour parade. There was one float of naked people.
Yeah,
everything else was Bud Light throwing condoms at me for some reason. Yeah. But other than that, like it was fun. Like it was a fun time. Side note: the NDP is currently calling me. I'm not going to pick that up. The NDP is calling me.
Pick it up on the air.
Maybe it's because you are self-proclaimed raging leftist and they need some help.
No, I paid the NDP. I'm a member. Like, there's a leadership thing coming up. They're probably.
Oh, is it really? I didn't know that. Anyway, no, dude, I was floored by this weekend. I was floored by the reaction to people. I was floored by the scripts, like the same scripts that they use, Lynn's. I was floored by the fact that you could literally tweet out, like yesterday, I tweeted out something about cheesies. Like my favorite cheesy is Hawkins cheesy. If you haven't had a Hawkins cheesy, by the way, the best cheesy on the planet. Everything else isn't even a cheesy. That's the cheesy. It's like it's the cheesy that every lesser cheesy wishes it could be. Hawkins cheesies. Some guys like, while you're eating those cheesies, kids are being groomed at drag shows, and I'm like, the fuck.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, shit. Whataboutism on the right is my favorite
beautiful day
today.
Sun shining, and have a great Canada Day, everybody. Oh, yeah? On this Canada Day, you're endorsing child grooming at drag shows. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking
That happened to me, too, with my tweet on Pee-Pee's video there.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, oh, you're just a groomer then if you like this or something like that. I'm like, what the? No. Like...
I don't know if I can know anymore, dude.
It's so silly. But yeah, the whataboutism is what's getting me. That's like half of my channel is taking these whataboutisms and be like, wait, so we're talking about topic A, you bring in topic Z for some reason and expect me to get from A to Z in that argument? Like, explain, like, how is that the same? And they just never can. And then they make
that's where that whataboutism came all weekend when we were cat toying with the trolls. They can't answer a question. The whataboutism is the only defense. It's you could just, and I could just give you like hey, listen, it was kind of wrong that Pierre did that, don't you think? Well, Justin Trudeau in 1998 did. It's like, fuck, can you just answer that? Yes, you're right. Okay, that was wrong that he did that. Now answer mine. And they still won't. And they just will never get to that answer. So.
Well, they can't.
I need a whataboutism alarm for my stream because I talk to these people on my show, right? I literally open my lines and be like, "Hey, come talk to me," and every time it's like, "Whataboutism, whataboutism." I need a big button that just turns on my lights red and flips them out. Like, I think I need a program.
You'll
that.
burn those lights out real quick.
Wow, we're like in that space now, though, of like this weekend, I tweet that about Pierre. I get a bunch of tweets from two women claiming to be Indigenous, saying that I don't stand up for Indigenous rights and I'm racist against Indigenous people. And I'm like, this is fucked. It was like, I don't know where that came from. That was a new one. Then I got called a toucher. Then I got called a groomer. Then I got called a pedophile. Then I got called a pedophile rights activist. And do you know why I got called a pedophile rights activist? I don't know why. Yeah, because I'm not a pedophile, nor do I advocate for pedophilia, unlike some Americans. But the reason why is because I tweeted, "Ladies and gents, the leader of the alt-white Jesus-freaked extremist Wiener Brigade," and it had thousands and thousands of views, and it had a picture of Pierre Poilievere, and they were activated by his group to literally go and try and ratio that tweet. That was the goal. The goal was, let's get in there and let's try and protect our guy. That's where it came from. And all we were doing was, literally, it was like pedophile, this, that, the other, and it lasted literally for 48 hours. That's how mad that made them. And I'm like, I win again.
Still making them mad.
Isn't it strange though that the pedophile thing? It drives you nuts, especially when you look at like what happened in Ohio this weekend in the States with that 10-year-old girl who was raped by a pedophile. But we've now forced, if she stayed in Ohio, they were going to force that 10-year-old girl to look at that as an opportunity, is what they said. Look at this as an opportunity for you to have that baby. To a 10-year-old. If you're talking about people that prop up pedophiles, that would be the Supreme Court propping up pedophiles procreating with our 10-year-old children. So the hypocrisy is staggering online when it comes to using the word pedophile. It's a lot of projection.
Remember when it was like? At least I do, because I'm old enough to. Do you remember when? I remember when, like, if someone called you a pedophile or a racist, you sued them and won in like 3 days.
Oh yeah.
Like, Karima, you're a lawyer. Are you from that time when? I know you're much younger than us, but do you remember when it was like absolutely illegal? Like, you got to fucking take people to the cleaners if they insinuated you were a pedophile, a groomer, a toucher, any of the things, a racist. Like, there was legitimately a hard line drawn online, or in real life. If you actually leveled an accusation that someone was a pedophile without them being a pedophile, or someone was a racist without them being racist, you got your dick sued off like in 5 minutes. Like, it was just a no-brainer.
Yeah, the pendulum has absolutely swung the other way. Now, some of the case law sort of on the racism point is interesting, because I won't get too into the weeds, but people who probably were racist were successful in defamation suits because sort of the court focused on intent. Like, it was just odd definitions of racism. But on the pedophile point, like, that's a lot more black and white. And I vaguely remember a time where words had meaning. But like, that seems like a distant past now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's watered down, and that's a word that should never be watered down. Like, that's an accusation that carries a lot of weight and a lot of just, like, there's nothing, like, why would you use that? Like, you call me an asshole, call me anything you want.
Idiot. That's why.
Yeah.
It's like it's because you have no fact-based anything behind an argument that you're trying to make. You can't think for yourself, and so you do whatever. But like, I used to do this when I'd get mad when I was younger. I'd just start yelling at people. You know, when like, they're like, you did something wrong, I'm like, fuck you, to try to like control the situation, right? Because these people aren't smart, because they're out of control, because they've been like programmed and brainwashed by the church to say these things, and they literally believe them. Because what they'll do is they'll tie your pedophilia, your alleged pedophilia, to the fact that they still think Justin Trudeau's a pedophile, and if you support his pedophilia, that means you also support pedophilia, if you support him at all. Right. So they automatically attach the word pedophile. This is what I was told by one of them. They attach the word pedophile or toucher or groomer to anybody who doesn't support them. Anybody who goes, hey, you know what? It's uncool to put a swastika on the side of the Capitol building. It's uncool
Just a little
to honk your horn for 4 weeks. They're like, whatever, pedophile. And you're like, oh my God, seriously?
Well, and a lot of these people
Shut up, groomer.
Shut up, groomer.
So that we see with like the watering down of language around Holocaust or slavery
Yeah.
or
I was just
apartheid.
going to say that.
And this is, you know, a strategy in fascism to strip words of their meaning. And so it's something to be mindful of, and how do we resist it? I don't quite know. But it's a bad trend.
That's a nice way to say it. It's a bad trend because, again, confused. I'm at that confused age, you know, or like your parent. You like same with my folks. I'm like, they're like, how do I use a cell phone again? I'm like, here, it's so easy. I used to be that guy. Now I'm not. Now I'm them. Where I'm looking at the way people talk and conduct themselves, and I'm like, there used to be recourse for stuff like this. Like, you used to be able to physically send a letter to that person, drag them into court within a matter of days, and fucking give it to them, right? Now, having said that, I've also sent all that stuff to our lawyer, and he's on it. But I mean, it's so arduous. He said to me the other day, he's like, dude, you want to go after all these people? I'm like, you're fucking right, I do. Let's teach them all a lesson. He goes, you're going to go broke trying to find like $5 because these people are such piss ants. They got nothing. That's why they do this stuff, right? So they've really de-incentivized, you know, taking a legal approach to holding people accountable online now, which is fucking too bad. That's why I go the rest of the way, because somewhere someone has to.
Yeah. And that was a good exercise yesterday, and I think that people didn't realize what we were kind of doing yesterday, and we did it as an exercise in showing you this is how it's a pattern. It's happened like every time something contentious comes up in the media about the right versus left, this is what happens, and it ramps up. And I think this weekend was a very good example of that, with the grooming and the pedophilia and the things aside. It should be eye-opening for people at this point. People are starting to really wake up to it. They're starting to see it, including conservatives themselves.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm in
we'll see.
2 quick points. One, and Karima can expand on this a little bit better as a lawyer, but even in the Criminal Code of Canada, there is a defamation and libel charge that you never hear any of these people getting those charges sticking, or even the police actually investigating that. Like, you know, how many people I've seen have their literal careers get ruined because they get defamed, right? And like over maybe something that was taken out of context or something that was, you know, shouldn't have been said or whatever, but they literally get, you know, things defamed. You know, Toronto 99 is a good example of that. They'll put anything up and walk away with no consequences, right? Where, you know, there's a literal criminal code violation in our country that I've never heard of anybody being, you know, convicted of that, right? Because it's such a hard thing to prove, right? It's such a hard thing for a crown to go through. But I forget my second point, but it wasn't.
I've actually up that provision because I was thinking to lay some private prosecution, but there is very little case law on it, and yeah, the criminal justice system sort of tosses that hot potato to civil law, right? Because there is recourse in a different way, but the problem is that going through civil courts is not a process. So really that access to justice is limited to people who are able to either retain counsel or have kind of the wherewithal to push a matter forward, but that is not an easy thing to do. So there is this kind of gap.
Yeah.
Is it more of a referral law, Karima, or like a touchstone law that is on the books to be used in conjunction with something else that, you know what I mean? Like where they'll drop that eventually once they get to the actual meat of the case that they want to prosecute. Could it be something like that? Is that why we don't see a lot of it?
I'm honestly not sure. None of the cases that I were particularly satisfying, and it could be that it's old and, you know, the cases aren't kind of updated on the current public access. So I don't know. It is there, but it's rarely.
Yeah. You know what? And it bothers me too because I watch C11 kind of take shape. Like you're watching the online harms bills take shape. Like C11, I know they got to redo the Broadcast Standard Act, which is hilarious to me. But anyway, watching Bill C11 kind of happen, and I'm like, you know, I got a feeling that Trudeau and his government are trying very hard to police this movement by policing everybody online, right? As opposed to literally saying, you know what? Let's start boning people for calling me a pedophile. Let's start going after people for calling each other pedophiles. And let's start using the law for what the law was created for, right? Which is online hate or hate speech, slander, libel, defamation, all that stuff. And I'm just that crazy bastard who does go forward and does do this stuff. I do it to people in private. We apologize or we get them to delete their accounts or they'll pay us money, one of the two. And your boy Slappy at Toronto 99, he's the worst. He's he's wanted by the guy from Pfizer for lying about his wife's death. She didn't die. She's alive. We've talked about him several times and he doesn't stop. He's still going. And a guy like Viva Frey, right? Viva still going because they're looking to grift. They're looking to get money from you for this. So they hope this lasts forever. They hope that people like us go, why are you doing this forever? Because they want to generate money saying, look at these guys. They're probably groomers and pedophiles because they disagree with us. And then that group and that community is so fucking insane and crazy. They're the people that actually forward all that stuff. These people are like online assassins. Dude, we watched it all weekend long. Karima, you see it all the time, right? It's part of your business is fighting online hate and bullshit online. It's one of the things that you do. But like it will never end until someone is drawn and put on the mat and made an example of. That's my opinion. Like someone needs to be made an example of over the past like 2-3 years of people literally coming and going as they please, calling people pedophiles and this and that and groomers and the other, and you're just a racist. Like, oh my God. Like if there aren't it doesn't stop. It's meaningless almost to the point. And then I feel like they're going to take the idea that, oh, everybody's doing it, so it's meaningless and hide behind the fact that they think it's meaningless, right?
Yeah. Chelsea Hillier has a default judgment, I think to the tune of like $98,000 for commenting about a professor at Carleton. So
Esther Post, yeah.
Yeah. You start to see more, but yeah. Ability. It is especially online the question of proving or ascertaining like it's not straightforward.
No, it's not straightforward. And you're right. Chelsea Hillier got boned last week. Do you see that, JB?
Yeah, 100 grand, something like that.
Yeah,
she got pinned for.
Oh yeah.
And like, not to forget to mention too, like to the three of us or the four of us here, you know, if somebody calls me a pedophile, I'm like, all right, no, but thanks. Like, okay, whatever. But like sometimes like that can really hit people in a different way. Like to the person who, like I'm online, I'm in the public. If you want to make a mean tweet about me, if you want to make a video about me, go for it. Like, I don't care, right? It doesn't bother me. But to one of my mods who maybe only has no followers that volunteers their time to moderate my channel with me, you know, if you make a video about them or make a comment to them saying they're a pedophile, who maybe they have had experiences in their life with that, whether they're a victim or whether they have a family member who's a victim or whatever, like the knock-on effects of that mental health issue is there, right? To the four of us, whatever, but to that person who doesn't have an online following that tries to remain, you know, behind a fence online, that comment might actually trigger something for them that you and I might not even be able to feel, right?
Yeah, we don't think about that, right? Like, you never think about what someone's dealt with prior to you calling them a pedophile. And Chelsea Hillier did it day in, day out, as did her dad. Every single person in that family has done it. And she got a default judgment, if I'm not mistaken. It was $100,000. It's a $100,000 judgment.
In that neighborhood.
Is that right, Karima?
Yeah.
Yeah, around that $85,000, $100,000. And, pardon?
98.
And complained all day that she can't pay it. Doesn't have the money. Can't do it. And then complained and turned herself into a victim. My life's terrible. Everybody.
The victim complex.
Yeah, dude, it's the same MO with all these people. The second you hold them accountable, they're like supercharged victims almost. It's almost like you're creating a victim state or they've created it themselves, but if you hold them accountable, It's almost like you're going to create the super victim state.
Well, it's kind of like I'm still getting tweets about this and comments on my TikTok video about it for when I stepped up to help Karima there when in the Kensington Market incident. I got a comment today being like, "Oh, she instigated, so she deserved it." It's like, well, sorry, Karima, I didn't mean to bring that up, but like, no, like this dude did this thing. Your thread is very, very clear. Allegedly, did this thing. The thread is very, very clear about this, right? So go look at the thread, make your own opinion about what exactly happened, but don't blindly look at a TikTok video and say this is what happened, right? Like I'm reporting what I know from Karima and following you and what I read, so that's why I'm doing this, right? But this ability to be like, no, she's not the victim, he's the victim, is just like I can't look at that mental gymnastics. Like I can't even figure out how you even create that to happen. Like it's just drives me nuts. I delete those comments because I can't even reply. Like,
well, it's never ending. Like, and it doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know how many tweets I saw this weekend didn't make any sense. Like, you're like,
no, none of and a lot of it was the Jesus stuff. Like the Christian stuff was my favorite this weekend. There's one lady that's just kept going off saying, "You don't know my faith," and then she would in the next tweet talk about God, and it's like, I think I've got an idea. I think like I'm almost there.
Yeah, it was
like
really
I'm in the
funny.
ballpark there.
So when I probably figured it out when I called Pierre, like it said he was the leader of the alt-white Jesus freaks.
Yeah.
The self-owning that went on this weekend was also incredible. Like this person who tweeted, "Religious extremism, you're just bigoted against Christian power."
Christian power.
Oh no.
Like that's you came full circle on that one tweet. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 words, and you did the whole world.
Big
Good
words
for you.
too. Big words.
Big
too.
words. Yeah.
Yeah,
he got
long
Who?
ones.
power.
Just long words,
Dude.
Christian power. Like, isn't this kind of what I said the whole time?
It's great when they make your point for you. That's kind of
sort of what I've been saying for 2 years. Like,
my favorite
Thank
is
you.
when they just hike the ball and run right into the point. Like right there. I got this. Boom, right into the point. Like couldn't have hit it any harder there, buddy.
Like, Karima, look at that. Read it. Religious extremism, you're just bigoted against Christian power.
Yeah.
It's like, what? We're not religious extremists. You just don't like our white power. Oh,
Yeah. Actually,
sorry.
put that up for a second. And if you remember Jordan Peterson and PP.
Yeah.
Let's say Anglo-Saxon extremism. You're just bigoted against white power. That's all that reads to me right there. Remember when he used that Anglo-Saxon dog whistle on that interview? Like that's exactly
Which is
what it
unbelievable because he was speaking plainly to Anglo-Saxons, and in his wood porn video, he started talking about Greek and utopia. Like he was like, we just want a utopia. And in the Greek, I'm like, fuck, what about Anglo-Saxons? You're talking to the Greeks now?
Do you know what utopia
Sorry, I
is?
shouldn't be swearing.
That person
Shouldn't be
has 43 followers.
Who? This guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, gold standard nuclear power god is his bio.
The best. Yeah. I think it's good. I think, dude, it was an undressing this weekend. Karima, I know you probably want to go get some appetizers. You and your cameraman probably need to get some appetizers. Get ready for Tamara Lich's bail hearing, which is tomorrow. You're staying in Ottawa to cover that. Is that correct?
That is the plan. I will be at the courthouse tomorrow morning.
We'll be live tweeting your live tweeting as you do it, because when you do something, we do it 20 seconds later.
That's right.
I'm just setting up a
Karima's
bot.
news 20 seconds later.
You're just setting up a bot?
Yeah, I'm just gonna set up a bot, retweet bot. Just retweet bot.
Yeah. Well, do you think she gets bail tomorrow, real quick, before we let you go? Do you think she's going to walk free, or do you think this is going to stick? You think she's in there for a bit?
No, I get bail.
Yeah.
I kind of hope
think
she
she-
does because I want to see her screwed up again.
It is fun.
It's a decent chance that
Like
happens.
when that alleged photo of that alleged event in that alleged city of Toronto happened, I was like, all right, like,
Yeah.
like, this.
Yeah.
If nothing happens from this, I've lost faith in our system at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. She flouted that bail, didn't she? She's like, Whatever. I'm going to
Allegedly.
Toronto. I'm hanging out with all these other people.
I'm gonna call her. It's just Schadenfreude. It's Schadenfountain. She's just a fountain of Schadenfreude. for us.
Schadenfreude. Yeah, is she ever?
She's a Schadenfountain. She's up for a Nobel Peace Prize.
No, she
Somebody is. Yeah, somebody is has
Guess who
nominated her. And it was reported by Toronto 99 today that she was reportedly nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. And I tweeted it out. I said, no, you just got the pronunciation wrong. It was Nobel, not Nobel. It's Nobel. So we'll see.
I just want to be at that meeting in, where is it, Sweden? Yeah, I think Sweden, where they do this. It's like...
Yeah.
They're these noble men and women making these decisions about who gets this prestigious award. Yeah. They have all these reputable names for all these amazing things nominated, but then you get Tamara.
The RV pulls up.
Oh, what did she do? Oh, she fought for freedom in Canada. You know, that country that's like 6th on the Freedom Index. How did she do it? Oh, she flew a fuck Trudeau flag. Oh. Yeah. Okay, well,
Sven,
we'll put her in the maybe pile.
Sven, who is this that pulled up with the truck with the nuts? Who is this? Is she on the list?
Hey, Dr. Hans Schroeder, nuclear physicist. Good. Dr. Karen Johnson, invented polio vaccine update. Good. Tammy.
She has a band in Lethbridge.
That's right. Blind Monday, lead singer, seditionist. Okay. Put her in the table 42 by the kitchen.
I've seen the building in Sweden where they do the Nobel Peace Prize. It's this beautiful building in Stockholm. Like, it's this absolute
Tammy
amazing
would feel out of place.
Do they have a smoking section? They're going to need a smoking
section. To know that her
section.
name's being muttered in that building when this is discussed is just insane to me.
Tammy would feel out of place in Bern, Switzerland at the Nobel Peace Prize Awards dinner. There would be no place to have a smoke break. Like none.
No.
None. What's that?
No darts.
Do they allow, like, does Sweden allow unvaccinated travelers?
I don't believe so. No.
Forgot
about that.
So she can't even go claim the award. Also, that would be a breach of her bail conditions, which is even funnier. So
that's crazy. Someone nominated her for a Nobel Peace Prize. She's fucking in jail in Canada, the most peaceful country in the world.
Somebody, listen, they're not above comparing guys like Pat King and her to Nelson Mandela now on Twitter, by the way, just so you're aware.
Is that what they're doing? They're calling they're calling political prisoners. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I'm gonna nominate
literally making they're literally making that direct, not just hinting, they're making a direct connection. Just like Nelson like Nelson
like
Mandela.
them. They're buds. They go way.
Yeah.
He spent 25 years on a chain gang, chipping away at rocks, turning them into soap dispensers. But yeah, just like that. Just like that. No big deal.
Stayed at the Westin.
Honk, and
stayed at the Westin.
Didn't pay his hotel bill.
Speaking of staying at the Westin, please enjoy the rest of your stay around the pool. Great job in Ottawa this weekend.
Thank you.
Very good.
Yeah. It was really nice to see you safe. Nice to see no one go after you this weekend too. That was a lot of fun for me.
It was a relatively peaceful weekend.
Yeah, it looked like it.
It's all relative.
All right.
I can't wait for Lachlan to come back from holidays so we can tell him, I fucking told you so.
She was fine. Yeah. He's always
told you so.
Follow Karima at Karima Rules. Sadvocacy.com is the name of her website. If you're looking for a real estate lawyer, looking for someone you can trust, you've got some questions. Karima's your lady. She's your person. She is incredible. She's one of my friends, and she should be one of your friends if you're looking for help in that department. But make sure you give her a follow at Karima Rules on Twitter. Great to see you. And by the way, go to her Twitter feed. She accepts donations for the work that she does because she doesn't charge people and doesn't work for doesn't answer to anybody because she just wants to show you the stuff. So please go and donate. Do that on her Twitter feed or Instagram feed. I think there's links on how you can donate right there. But appreciate you being here. Thanks again.
Thank you. See you later.
Great to see you.
Take care.
Assad, guaranteed. You know what she's doing next? She's going to smoke a huge bowl.
I don't blame her.
Big bowl.
I might do the same. Oh wait, I have a show tonight. Maybe I can't do that.
Do you have a show tonight?
I do.
What time?
8:00. And
where?
On Twitch, twitch.tv/sheepkingjb, or on TikTok, one of the two. I open my guest requests, as I call it, So we're on this platform where the three of us can talk, and Ryan was joking around about sending the link. I put that link in public and let anybody join.
Kind of like Spenny. Remember we had Spenny on the other day, and Spenny does that, but he does it like through an email. He'll send you an email if
you're insane.
He just does it out in the open. Like, here, just click it and show up.
Yeah, I literally make it easy for them, and they still can't figure it out, which is hilarious.
What do you mean? Like, you just like the link to this show to get onto this show. If we put that out publicly, it would be a fucking nightmare.
I make it easier. It's join.sheepking.live. It's one link. You can join me. We can have a conversation, and I just sit there. I let them talk, and it's just it's a piece.
He's got this face. He's got this face while they bury themselves.
Yeah, I've seen it. You've seen because he puts out clips. JB, if you follow him on TikTok, Twitter, wherever you follow him, at Sheep King JB. He puts out these little clips of what he does, and when he puts out a clip, it's like him with his little shit-eating grin, going, "Tell me more." And the guy's like, "Fuck you," and he's like, "Great."
Well, I think the first time I was on this show, where the guy said he can't wait for the Civil War so he can beat my head in with, I was like, all right. Where do you want to meet? What bar? Like, do you want to just meet at
Zippers?
Yeah. Want to just have some fun while we're here? We're going Yonge Street. We'll rip it up. It's good fun. Ultimately, the funny thing is, and this is the thing I love, is that they talk shit in the comments. I'm going to come talk to you. I got you. And then they get in the box, as I call it, and they're tame as a mouse. Every now and then you get the little freak out, but they're all afraid. Like, they just can't handle somebody coming at them with any sort of logic. They just can't, right? And my favorite line to them is just prove it. They come in with a claim like, the convoy was the biggest thing for freedom than in Canadian. They're like, prove it. And they can't. There's nothing that they can link to. There's nothing that they can say. There's nothing at all.
Whenever you ask someone to prove something in 2022, it's a mind melter. It's like, because when I ask people to prove it or say, sure, I'll believe that. Do you have any receipts? It's always fuck you and anger that comes back.
Do your research.
Or nothing. They got nothing. Yeah.
You Google it. So, and as you guys know, in this platform, you can share screens here, right? So I could share my screen to you right now. I give them that power. So when they come onto the show, I'm like, share your screen. Let's look up the things that you're looking up. Let's see how you got to this conclusion. They never do it. The option's there for them. It's free. Doesn't cost them anything. But they never.
We got to carry this show tonight. Can we stream it with you and direct people to you?
Yeah, I'll give you a paired link. We'll do it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's stream that show tonight because I'm gonna get a kick out of this. I love this kind of stuff.
I don't get people all the time. Sorry to interrupt, but like when I do, it's like chef's kiss. So it's kind of like hacking at a gold mine to try to find that nugget. But when you find it, it's and some of my mods are in the chat too. They can back it up, right?
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, Drew saying it's like them saying Trudeau committed treason, and then you ask them how, and then you never get an answer, right? Like you never ever get an answer from any of those.
I literally have a soundboard here where I have like crickets. So wait, where is it? Oh, I have this. I have the losing horn from The Price is Right. I got the Jeopardy theme. Well, they're thinking. I troll them.
TikTok.
Crickets. This is my favorite. When I say something and there's silence on the board. I have fun with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna watch it. We're gonna live stream that with you tonight.
Yeah.
Sheep King JB's live stream at Sheep King JB on socials or anywhere you want to find him. What time? 9 o'clock. You're doing that?
8 o'clock Eastern.
8 o'clock Eastern, EST. It'll be here at deanblundell.com. But follow JB, Sheep King JB, anywhere you find him on socials, including OnlyFans. By the way, last time he was on the show, we were talking about his OnlyFans account. 9 new subscribers after he was on the show. 9.
Yeah. One of them was our lawyer.
Yeah, that was a weird follow.
He wanted to see your hammer.
That was a little weird. And then I got an awkward phone call from my mother. So that's a conversation for her.
I got an awkward phone call from that lawyer.
Yeah, probably did. What did she say? Was she upset? Was she upset we were talking about your porn channel?
She's not upset.
Pissed off? Was she angry?
She just doesn't like me advertising it.
Did she know about it beforehand?
She does, to an extent. She knows
she
what I
doesn't want
do.
other people to know. She doesn't want people she knows to know that you have an OnlyFans channel.
Whatever. She doesn't understand it too, right? She thought like anybody could just view it. I'm like, no, Mom. Like it's not like you can Google it. Like it's hidden behind a paywall on purpose, right? So Anyways,
By the
wanna
way,
see the
someone
hammer,
thanks
you
for
put
the
up
9
the
new
wallet.
subs. I appreciate that.
You're
Great.
welcome. Yeah.
One's
No,
a
go on.
lawyer, which now I'm terrified to post anything.
Especially because you kind of work with him a little bit.
Yeah, I
right?
know. He's gonna DM me, be like, "You shouldn't have posted that," and then the 20 laws I just broke. Like,
No, he's good. He loves that stuff too. He lives dangerously and vicariously through people like you, so you're gonna be fine. But follow Sheep King on Twitter, wherever you get your socials, including TikTok, Instagram. Are you on Facebook or is that old
not on
people stuff?
Facebook,
Not on
Instagram,
Facebook.
Twitter,
Smart.
TikTok, here, YouTube. I just redid my YouTube channel. Go subscribe to that.
Oh, did you? YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Sheep King JB. Thanks for doing this, brother. Really appreciate it. We'll see you tonight at 8:00.
Yep, I'll be there.
EST. Talk to you soon, bro.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. There's Sheep King JB. Good dude. Great dude.
Very good dude.
Funny guy.
So funny. I wasn't kidding though. Like I think we ended the show at like 5:08 or something. And by 5:10, my phone was ringing and it was Rob. Dude, you got to see his hammer.
Yeah. Apparently he's got a wrench.
Yeah.
Good for him. Right?
You know, that's some confidence right there.
You got a wrench. You want to show it for money. Why not?
Do it.
It's 2022. We don't live in colonial times anymore. This is cool.
No.
He wants to show his wrench. And here's the thing. This is what I like about him. He's like, he was forced into it.
Yeah. Yeah, like it was like they doxed him. He's like, okay, I see you're doxing and raise you. Now
No, it
look at
wasn't
my
even
dick
that.
and pay for it.
No, it wasn't even that. He was
What do
like,
you mean?
this friend of his who's a female was like, I really want to make some porn. Will you make it with me? He's like, sure. Because he's a nice guy. He's like,
It's not
and
like
she's a
moving.
legitimate porn star. And then she's like, you should just start your own OnlyFans channel too. Like the stuff that we do together, and you can put it on your channel. You can make some money. He's like, why not? That's one of the things I like about him. He's like, fuck, who cares? I guess. Whatever. I'll just do it. And he does it and he makes money doing it. And he's safe about it. And he knows the person he's doing it with. And he was told to do it. Like, not many guys are like, hey, will you come over? Have you ever gotten that phone call?
No.
Hey, just wondering if you would come over and make some pornography with me. And I'll teach you how to set up an account so you can actually make money after we do it. Be like, I've never had that phone call. No one's ever called me and offered me that job.
No. I get, hey, can you help me move Saturday? Which is pretty lame. Cold pizza and warm beer. And there's no sex and there's no money.
Hey, will you watch my house while I'm gone for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
That's what I
Water
got.
the plants. Feed the cat.
Hey, will you watch the dog? Will you
Yeah.
watch our dog? Like, I guess.
No sex.
No one's ever gone, hey, come over and help me make some pornos. Like,
And I'll show
be
you how
right
to
there.
make money with it too.
yeah. What a life JB has. When I come
That's a
back, I want to
bizarro
be
world.
Sheep King JB.
I think he's onto something here.
And not even because apparently he's got a world famous wrench.
Not even that.
No, just
Maybe
that
a
he
little
doesn't
bit.
care. No. I don't care about other guys' wieners. Good for him. But like he doesn't.
No, I'm saying
care.
if you wanted
That's
to
a-
come back as him.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm going to come back as anybody, I'm going to come back as Sheep King JB. That's what I'm going to come back as. Okay,
I want someone
forced
to
into
love.
porn.
Yeah, I want someone to love me the way Pierre Poilievere loves wood.
Yeah,
That's what I want.
Can you seriously still believe that video? I can't.
Love it. I love
I don't
it.
know
The
if I
Magna
do.
Carta thing was the kicker for me, and I knew we were going to get to that point in that video, and I knew you had done the work to show everybody, because as soon as I heard it, I'm like, this is ridiculous, and I'm like, if Dean has seen this, I know what he's already doing.
Yeah, and I knew about the Magna Carta.
Of course,
I
we
wasn't
all do.
aware. Yeah, it's like the very first Bill of Human Rights ever fucking written. It was written 800 years ago, legitimately 1215.
Yeah.
807 years ago, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
King John, who was a big pussy. And they're like,
Huge.
listen, they're going to fight. The Stuarts are going to fight and kill you if you don't. Everybody's unhappy. I was like, okay, I don't want a war. Some misinformation, totally lying. And there's Peter going, Pierre is like, the Magna Carta reminds me of this wood. I'm like, no, it doesn't, you stupid fucking idiot. It's got nothing to do with anything. All he did was say the commoners are uprising. Let's reclaim all that whiteness. That's all he
That's
said.
all he had to say.
That's all he
had to say.
Might as well just fucking come out and say it at this point, right?
Well, it's not like he's far off of it. He's doing it anyway. It's just a matter of his actual base is just not clear enough to see it and understand what they're hearing, and they'll believe it. They believe that that's what the Magna Carta was all about now. Like you've literally just fucked a piece of history for a good portion of the people that think you're
yeah,
a wood
listen,
god.
if you think anybody he's talking to has read up on colonial English history and how it gave us human rights and why, and the aristocracy back in post-medieval times,
No,
you're crazy.
I wasn't thinking that we had a bunch of Rhodes scholars out there right now chanting and marching with him in stinky fatigues, but
yeah, I know.
I just mean it's that misinformation campaign of just keep feeding them bullshit, and they'll just keep loving you, and you just keep using the words like you say, reclaim, freedom, buzzwords, man. It's a pain in the ass.
Thanks for doing this. Good to see you.
Love you, brother. Good to see
Love
you.
you too. That's Ryan Lindley.
You did a great fucking job not swearing today, by the way.
Oh, thanks, man. I did my best. I seriously am trying not to swear because, listen, here's the thing, is that we've been asked to do some radio stuff, right? And I'm trying to get together like a group of or a collection of audio / video and how the video and the audio works. I've been asked to present this to somebody that is palatable is a good word.
Yeah.
Palatable to a group of executives, right?
Terrestrial friendly.
And so and I don't really kind of get too out of hand. We don't talk. We're not mean, nasty. We don't get too crazy with stuff. Not too graphic and stuff. But one of the things that the guy said is like, "Can you cut out the swearing?" And I'm like, "I'll try. I'll do my best." And didn't go great, but I'm going to try again. Try again tomorrow.
It's all about. Hey, you're the one that tells us we're all students in this life, right?
That's right. We're just trainees.
We're just training for a radio gig now, apparently.
Yeah. No, we're not training for a radio gig.
I'm just kidding.
Someone at a radio station asked me, and they're like, or like a radio division, they're like, "Can you put together something that we can look at?" Because I think they want something like this. And I'm like, sure. So I put something together for him, and there's so much swearing in it. Rookie sent like 5 clips. Remember? I like, hey,
yeah.
So he sends 5 clips. I get back this note from somebody at this radio company, and they're like this, "Hey, it's so funny. It's so good. It is so not the thing we want to play in a boardroom for a whole bunch of people." And I'm like, "All right, well, what else you want?" And they're like, "I don't know. Like, can you give us something with no swearing, just audio, 5 minutes?" And I'm like,
consecutive,
all right, in a row. And they're like, "Yeah, in a row." And I'm like, "All right." So that's what we're doing. But anyway, that's why I'm trying not to swear, because I started thinking about it, and I'm like, you don't want to swear too much. I sometimes think we swear too much.
So do I. I think
I don't think we have to. I think we can be smarter than that. Plus, I was watching all those yokels swear this weekend that tried to fill me with the love of their Lord and then told me to go fuck myself. And I'm like, it's really ugly, isn't it? Just to hear all that language. We don't need that language in our life.
Well, apparently it's a Christian way, so I don't see why we wouldn't be allowed to do it.
Oh, that was the other thing I was told. I was told, hey, can you cut it out with the calling people Jesus freaks too? And I'm like, okay, I'll try.
So tune in tomorrow for the 20-minute show. It'll be great. But I'm going to keep telling you that you're doing a great job every time you swear. Okay? We're going to do this together. I'll work with you. I will also make a concerted effort not to swear. If that helps, I think if we create that little environment, we get maybe elevate this a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a bad thing. You know, salt and pepper is good, but sometimes it gets a little too salty. I understand. Mm-hmm. We have a very diverse group of fans as well. A lot of older folks that tune in that love the show, but I get notes all the time. Wow, you guys swear a lot, dear. I know. I'm sorry. You know, like one of those.
Yeah, but we don't have.
But they love the content.
Yeah,
but you're right.
The content's good, but we don't have to keep swearing. Like, you know, the odd fuck is okay. I don't think any of the C words are important anymore. Like, do we want to be calling people C words all the time?
No,
and not that
we don't
call
need
them
it.
C words all the time. We just don't need to.
No, and if we're showcasing something that has it, then yeah, of course it's going to be there in context, but it's not something that we need to label people with, even though people can be C words.
People can be C words.
We'll do that on the phone after the show. We'll call each other, and we'll get it out that way.
C word fest.
that'll be.
And I'm British.
Be paid.
So one of my favorite words.
Yeah,
both C words are my favorite words.
Same here. I get pretty much, and it's not even a gender thing. It's not gender specific. It's neutral to me. It's just it's an expression. That's all it is. So I'm with you. I will help. I will try and we'll beat this together.
Oh, see, now people are telling me not to. I have to keep swearing. What do you want? Everybody's like, no, you got to keep swearing. And then I got people that are like, hey, we want to put you on the radio. Can you stop swearing? I'm like, who do I answer to?
Were they okay with the cat
Who
shitting
are
in the
you
calendar
working
behind you?
for? Yeah, they're okay.
They were okay with that.
Yeah, but
I guess it's radio, doesn't it?
July's cat shit is just a loaf. By the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cat shit calendar that you got me for Christmas.
Yeah, I noticed you changed it there on Canada Day.
It's a big healthy load. Yeah, that cat's healthy. That cat's digestive system is outstanding. A lot of probiotics in that cat.
Squint going.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks everybody.
All right,
appreciate it.
We'll see you tomorrow.
You stay cool. You stay as cool as the other side of the pillow, Ryan.
Oh man, I will now that you said that.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will.
Ciao, pal.
We'll see you tomorrow at 4:00. See you, big fella.
Oh, I can't do this. You got to.
What?
I almost cut you off. Sorry.
What?
I almost hit end stream. I've realized I'm not logging out. I'm actually part of. I'm just going to shut my camera off. Bye.
That's it for him then. He almost shut us down. I know what that's like. Someone just walks in and shuts it off. Whatever. It's happened before. It'll happen again. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to Viva Frey. Now that I know you, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get Viva Frey. It's going to be fun. And thanks to you. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Really appreciate you being here. Thanks for enjoying this if you did. And don't forget, you can get us on YouTube, Dean Blundell Show on YouTube, Dean Blundell TV on Twitch, and wherever you get your podcasts, including Apple, Google, Spotify, etc. Thanks to our friends at Easy Auto Financial for making this possible. Easy Auto Financial helping you get financing for a vehicle that you otherwise can't get, depending on your credit rating. They don't care about your credit rating. They care about getting you a car, and they're the best in the business. So go to easyautofinancial.ca and check them out today. No obligation whatsoever, by the way. Thanks to our friends at kivlaw.ca. Again, if you're looking for a great criminal defense attorney or just a lawyer that you can help kind of figure out your life. How do you get your life back? Don't risk your future by pleading guilty to your charges. Make sure you get honest answers about your situation from an experienced defense lawyer that knows exactly what they're doing. Go to kivlaw.ca. Speak to a lawyer now. There's a little button on the front page again, kivlaw.ca if you're in the greater Toronto area. That is my friend Rob and his group. They are outstanding people and even better defense attorneys. So make sure you give them a call today. kivlaw.ca. Bump, ba-da-dum. And Ed's Fine Imports is Gitch. What you need to do is wear them, get them on your body. You'll love them. Boxer briefs, pouch in the front, great waistband. Can't miss with Ed's Fine Imports and Ed's Gitch. Full online store, by the way. He'll send you a free pair of underwear when you use the promo code Gitch and then the number 3. Super easy to do. Gitch3 is your promo code. Use them today at edsfineimports.com. Don't forget to sign up for a newsletter. We'll see you tomorrow on this very program right around 4:00. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.